Hello and welcome to the next part of Pedagogy Pods. I know you like the last one and that's why you're here to see the next one. So let's see what do we have in store today. I'm Meenakshi Oberoi and I'm CEO of Pedagogics and I welcome you to this podcast, Pedagogy Pods.
And I'm Jyoti Chaba. Welcome aboard to the Pedagogy Pods. Let's see what we have in store for you today.
Well, we have creativity on mind today. We want to be very creative, and every teacher aspires to be as creative as you can in your classrooms. And we look up many ways of being creative. But you know what? We as teachers hold a wealth of resources within our community, within that school, just one school. If you just have a conversation with the teachers that you don't very often talk to, you will find many creative ways and you can actually have a creative bank within your schools.
Right.
So we're going to actually talk about being creative in the classroom. Towards that, let me ask Jyoti a question. Yes, I love asking questions and they love answering, and therefore they come on this podcast, right? Jyoti, we've all had really wow moments in our classrooms.
Yeah,
But alongside that, we've had those oops moment in our classroom. I'm sure you do
for
have too.
sure.
I'm going to request you to share, if you don't mind, your oops moment with us and how you handled that.
Yeah. Of course, there are many oops moments, So obviously, one of the biggest ones is when a student asks you a question and you don't know the answer.
Oh,
So
that's
that's a big,
interesting.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big one. But then you turn it around. You can accept that you don't know. That's We are not any superhuman beings. So we tell the students, okay, let's try and find the answer together, or maybe we'll do some research together. And so they accept it. Acceptance of not knowing, I feel, is a very important thing, rather than showing a picture of a perfect picture that your teacher knows it all. No, that's not a real thing. We are all human. End of the day, if something we don't know, it's okay to accept and move on.
And I really like that. We're all humans. Teachers are expected to be the knowledge holders. Yeah, we are, but we also would like to be human, as simple as that. And one of my ways of handling that kind of oops moment was I normally ask a question with a question. So, try this. If you ask a question, or if a student has a question like, how do I solve this? Or, what do I have to do here? What I would normally do is I would look at the statement, break it into parts,
Yeah.
but not answer them, break it into smaller questions. Smaller bites are always easier to digest and handle and to see how to respond to.
Yeah,
So
totally
it's a
agree with
great
you.
way to break
Yeah.
a bigger or a complex problem into simpler problems and present it back to the students. How's that?
Yeah, many times it works actually. Yeah, that's a good one, example.
So, Meenakshi, I want to ask you that creatively, what has changed into the classroom? How would you actually create an environment that is more that sounds and looks like creativity happening all around?
Indeed, a very good question, Meenakshi. I have seen so much. I have a teaching experience of 25 years, and when we started, uh, then also it was creative, and today also it's creative. But it has
True.
changed a lot with time. With the progress of time, we have learned so much. Every day we do something creative. But at those times, we didn't have AI, we didn't have that much of technology. Our students are more of listeners, but then we progressed when then we progressed, and then we started giving the kind of projects, kind of lesson plans, which made students talk more than teachers.
That is very important. I would so agree. Yeah, please go ahead.
Shall I go give an example? For
Absolutely.
example, we were teaching them the poets of Bhakti Kal, which was a period of time when we had many poets. So initially, what we used to do, we just used to tell them by showing some PPT or doing something. But then we made sure that children go and choose the books from the library, and they bring the library, and we just sorted them in 3 or 4 groups, and they found out, they read it through, they found out, and they talked about it. They gave a small 5 minutes bit about every poet, and they were very happy with it.
Yeah.
They liked it because they did it themselves. Now we have realized that by making them do something is much better than teacher preaching them something.
Absolutely. So, shifting the onus from teacher to student.
Teacher to student,
I
that's a
remember in
big
my
huge.
class, yeah, exactly. So in my classroom, what we used to do is we used to put up the title and then the words. So the word list, everybody puts up word list in the
Word list,
classroom,
yeah.
yeah? But it should not remain just about words. They need to have a meaning. The students need to connect with those words. So we used to invite students to get pictures, define the word in their own words, find out the meaning from dictionary, and maybe find a situation where it's happening, take a picture and bring along. So our word wall used to be a wall that was a talking wall for students, for them to understand what that word is, so that every Tuesday when they had a dictation, they already had made a connect with that word.
Which is so important.
Yeah,
That
which
was
is so important.
And in the same way, we used to make boards in our classes, very creative and very beautiful boards. But initially, teachers' role was so much in that we make borders, and we decorate them, then we define them. But then we realize it's not making much use to students. They're not feeling it's their work. Then we started telling them that you choose the topic. They chose the topic for the week or for the fortnight, and they used to write. Maybe it doesn't decorate the board that well, but they felt the ownership of that, and it looked more creative than we used to make it. That was another change in
How
there.
beautiful is that? Imagine bringing out the creativity out of students so they're very creative, using their
We should
time
believe
rather
them.
than, yeah,
We should believe
exactly. And also, that's also a showcase of their understanding of the concept. And their main connect with that topic, so that they can actually go think about it, think about the layouts, think about the color schemes. For example, we were doing on plants, and I remember bringing in different colors from purples to yellows to reds to whites, and they very carefully chose the colors that should go for the topic plants.
So
So,
beautiful. They love
yeah,
so much of that.
exactly. So bringing them in, student agency is a big deal. We must respect that. Okay, now it's time for the most exciting part of this pod, and that is quick questions. So, are you ready?
Yeah, but let me ask you first this time. Let
Okay.
me ask you a question.
All right.
This we face many times as teachers. How do you deal with a tough parent?
Oops. Is that an oops question or is that a quick question? It could be actually both. Well, dealing with difficult parents, I'm not sure if that's a difficult parent or the situation is difficult. That's the first
Yeah,
analysis.
that's a good
You
one.
know, you first need to know what is the situation. Where are you in this? And please do understand the parent is coming from a place where they're already anxious, they're already angry. So the
Yeah.
first thing is calm yourself down. Don't get defensive. Stay calm, handle it in a way that you're actually stating facts. You do have data to state facts. For example, let's say they say my child reads very well at home. I don't know what happens in a classroom. What could be a typical response? The typical response would be, in at your home, you're doing a one-on-one reading. They're very comfortable with you. In my classroom, that child is trying to read with about 30 to 40 other students. The scenario is completely different. Please understand that the child is a confident reader one-on-one. But maybe when the child
Comes in a
comes
group
in a
activity.
larger group,
Yeah.
and that's where the problem lies. So we need to identify, rather, co-identify the problem and co-solve the problem. That's the key. And one of the things that's worked very well in our school was back to school. We used to love doing parent orientation section where
Yeah.
we had back to school. Parents were made to be students and they were to deal like students. And believe you me, stepping into that shoe for people
Yeah.
who works in corporates, who have their own businesses, it's not easy. That sets a lot of realizations into the parents in a classroom scenario.
Also, I think we should give the picture that we are the collaborators. We can't say that I am the one all and I'm the one who will give the knowledge and nothing, or you are the one, you are the parent. So we can't start blaming them, right? So it's better to just show that, okay, we are the collaborators, we are trying our best for the child. So
Yeah,
that really helps a lot to please the calm down the parent as well.
absolutely. And don't please be just a pleasing person saying, yes,
Yeah.
I understand and we'll solve it. No, offer a solution. That's more doable. Okay, my time now to ask Jyoti. Jyoti, I remember you telling us you were never a teacher, but you became a teacher. What do you think, in your experience, is one thing that should be given in the handbook to say, you're going to be a teacher, expect this?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I feel when I came into the classroom, I didn't have this idea at all. But after the experience, I can say that now. Obviously the main purpose of the teacher is content delivery, right? You are there to teach them. You give there to tell them the content. But that is, I feel, a very small part of being a teacher. I feel the main thing is how to build a rapport with each and every student in your class, and which could be very different from each student. You can't have a copy paste for every student. It could be very different. For one, a student needs a big hug in the morning. For second one, it needs a high five. A third one needs something else. So I feel that played a very important part when you make one-to-one rapport with each student, so that the student also comes to you when they're not feeling well, or they want to say something, they want to share their heart out. They're very happy sharing, because once you have a rapport, it can only happen then. It's just content delivery is something very small. So I feel that is something very important. A coming incoming teacher or a new teacher should understand that she has to really work hard on that part in initial months or weeks when you join as a new teacher.
Absolutely. And most of us come with the thought of being a sage on the stage. And I think it's more of a side, guide by the side.
Yeah,
No,
guide on the
actually, a
side.
friend by the side. They really need
Yeah,
someone whom they actually have left back home their parents. So the emotional part of it needs
yeah,
to be reconnected in school. And
for
I think
sure.
that's very
Yeah,
important. Yeah. Thank you. And I hope you did enjoy today's session and we have been able to give you some takeaways. See you next time.
thank you.
Thanks.